Come on.
Hey, yo! We are back once again, and welcome to another episode, a special episode at that, of another episode of Do You Still Watch Wrestling? I'll be your host and presenter, Dashiki Dash, and you know I can't do this alone. I got the one and only Kojo. What's good, my brother?
I'm alive, man. I'm alive. Having jet lag has its positives because I was able to watch WrestleMania without being tired. The negatives are I wasn't able to go throughout the day in London, not being tired. So yeah, man, I'm alive. What are you saying?
Bro, I'm suffering 3 days of like staying up. So that was Saturday night, Sunday night. Look at me, I'm even slurring my words. And then Monday night for for Raw. So 2 nights of WrestleMania, 1 night of Raw, and man, I need my sleep, man. I need my sleep, but it was all worth it. All worth it. How you feeling after all of that?
I'm good. I'm happy, man. Trying to think, was it? And to be fair, it was everything and a little bit more that I expected. We'll delve into it, obviously, but if you're asking me if I'm happy about the Mania weekend, how it's come out, yeah, I'm very happy actually. I'm cool.
We're definitely gonna jump into it. Just before we get into it, just guys, if you are watching, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, man. Help us up. Yeah, man. As we always say, do you still watch wrestling? So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with your kinfolk. All of that. Make sure that you press your notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of our shows. So today's agenda is very, very simple, man. We're going to talk about the new WWE new era. They were ramming that down our throats. No Diddy. Because they were going in, letting us know that we're in a new era of WWE. Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, is the guy that's obviously in control of all the content. We're also definitely going to be talking about WrestleMania 40. We're going to give you the recap and review. I'm going to go in today. I need to vent. Pure ventilation going on today in regards to the way that the story ended in regards to the bloodline and Cody Rhodes and everything like that. And then we're going to be touching on the Raw after Mania, which is usually one of the best Raws that you can actually watch, especially because it usually poses some surprises, some off-color stuff, some rawness in regards to like how things have transpired after WrestleMania. Let's just quickly touch on this new WWE, the new era, and what it actually means and why there's this new era. Because we've gone through eras, innit? We've gone through the golden era, which would have your Hulk Hogan's, Ultimate Warriors, Macho Man, Randy Savage. Ooh, yeah. Dig it. Then we went into the Attitude Era, which was, you see in your Rocks, your Stone Cold Steve Austins, your Triple H's, DX, Nation of Domination, to name a few. Then we went into the Ruthless Aggression, and that was more like led by John Cena. We're seeing more of Bobby Lashley. ECW's obviously come into the mix at that particular time. And then we went into like a reality era, whereas a lot of more backstage access and more into the wrestlers' private lives. Social media is obviously blowing up. And now we're in this new era. What's the new era, Kojo?
We ain't got a name for it yet because it's very, very new apparently. So I mean, so far we're calling it the Paul. It's so weird to call him Paul Levesque, man. You know what it is, yeah? That's his government.
Is it Levesque or Levesque? Levesque, right? What is it? Paul Levesque?
Yeah, Levesque, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's spelled Levesque, but Americans they're English. You know what? Wade Barrett said it. There's the Queen's English and there's mistakes. That's what they do, mistakes. So, yeah, man. But however Triple H says his name is how his name is. I'm gonna call him Triple H. I just out of respect. It's weird. It's wrestling. He's saying you're not gonna call him his government name out of respect because that's your name as his character name. Is weird. But no. From what it's looking like, I'm happy. Look, I'll tell you from what I've been saying for a while and why I've always been a fan of Triple H. If you look at his NXT era, the black and gold where he was in control, that was kind of trying to lead into the era we have now. He was trying to get those guys to be the guys that lead that era that we're going to have now. There was a lot of that kind of feel of realism, personal promos, backstage access, almost using more or allowing the commentators to use more terms in terms of wrestling words rather than just what a move. You know, they'll talk about the move.
Oh, what a maneuver!
Yeah, what maneuver and all the moves itself, and you know that kind of thing. It's just a small little thing, and the thing that was a swear word to the old man, professional wrestling, because he prefers sports entertainment, which I never had a beef with. It's sports entertainment. It's a sport, but in the entertainment side, not just watching people wrestle and go home. I think he's been trying to get there, and now that he's in control and he actually has nobody holding him back now we're engaging in that era, and he's the perfect person to lead it. So, yeah, it's only been if you want to include WrestleMania weekend, it's only been 3 days. But I think we've enjoyed the 3 days already. So it's been a good start. It's been promising.
So in terms of total control, because you and I, we always mentioned the fact that we felt that it's been a Triple H era in the sense of like, especially with Roman Reigns and that lengthy title reign. It really reeked of a Triple H kind of like, you know, hands-on approach to it. So what is it being defined right now that from WrestleMania weekend it's officially Triple H's like full control, or has he been in control beforehand?
I think he's been in control beforehand. I think it's just been a slow and steady process. I think as soon as TKO, Endeavor, all that stuff happened, and then Vince was officially ousted, and Triple H got his role as CCO. From there, I think it's been the Triple H era. I just think they've been a bit cautious into saying that because they've had to slowly almost remove the people that were part of the old regime and move forward in the new regime. You can see in the way they do camera shots now, the way even the entrances, the camera follows the wrestler from the back all the way to the entrance. It's nice though. It's good.
Yeah, I like it.
Good. You know what I mean? It's really good. Like it's the small things that's been happening that when you pay attention, it's like, raw. These are big changes. But now that they've even like paraded Triple H essentially this weekend as well, they've paraded him. You are now officially saying everything that you see that's creative is his regime. This is his time, and
even to the point where, sorry to cut you, even to the point where Stephanie McMahon. Now I know that Stephanie McMahon was at the Hall of Fame ceremony because obviously she stepped away from WWE in a most abrupt way, innit? Like it's like right, like you just kicked out,
just cut, yeah.
And you know, obviously with all the things that have been going on with Vince McMahon, I understand why she made an exit. She wanted to not really be burnt by the McMahon name, so she stepped away. She's taking that time out, but she came back to WrestleMania the second day, so WrestleMania Sunday, and fully endorsed Triple H. You know, that's a full endorsement by a McMahon. And when Stephanie did come out, I was just like previously, like beforehand, I was just like, man, we are really in a WWE period of time where there is no McMahon. Like, this is actually crazy because we grew up associating WWE with at least a McMahon, and to see that there hasn't been no Shane McMahon, there hasn't been no Stephanie McMahon, and obviously there's no longer Vince McMahon. Like, wow, WWE is really out there on their own with, you know, this new Endeavor group, TKO. But to see Stephanie McMahon come back and then obviously fully endorse Triple H, who is now the chief creating content creator,
Yeah.
officer.
Yeah.
So he's in charge of all things now. So anything that we see now, here on out, is fully Triple H, the game.
The game, Supreme Assassin, the King
and-
of Kings. Oh, sorry. I was going to add on to your Stephanie thing. I think I saw a tweet. I think she's got a role in the new board, which is
okay.
Which is interesting. But it's again, I think it's husband and wife just together, man. They're doing their thing, man.
I think it would have been a big shame. I know that it's no longer under full ownership. I will be very surprised, and this is probably me being a bit in terms of controversy and stuff like that. Controversial. That's the word I'm trying to look for. I need some sleep, man. That the fact that there's no McMahon, but I still believe that they still got their fingers in that pie. They're still, although they might not be full owners, there's no way for the fact that McMahon's have built this WWE that they won't have a little bit of streaming income strolling in somehow. So yeah, it's good to see that Stephanie McMahon might be, if she's on the board and stuff like that. So new era, Triple H. What does this new era look for you? I know obviously you talked about like the aesthetics, the camera angles, and all that kind of stuff. What about the talent?
Oh, I think literally, I don't think there's going to be a time now where a wrestler maybe gets released and goes into a podcast or a show and says, "I wasn't given the chance to showcase myself." I will forever beat this drum of Triple H. When he was at NXT, everyone that came through those doors was given the chance to build their character. And obviously, Dusty Rhodes is not around anymore, but Dusty Rhodes was like his confidant. It was we'll let you express yourself because, you can only find out how good you are if your character is brought to the table and you express it the way that you see it on screen. I can tell you to portray a character, but unless you believe in it, you're not going to see that on camera. And I feel like that's what you're going to see now with these wrestlers. I feel like we've always seen good quality matches across the board, but I think you're going to have shows where genuinely you wouldn't want to skip a match. Just even if it's going to be 2 minutes, you wouldn't want to skip it because there's going to be something, or they're going to be showcased in a way where you're like, I'm happy about this. Like, for example, I know we're going to go to the whole weekend on Monday, but Raw after Mania, you had Jade Cargill versus Chelsea Green, and that was about a minute long. But the fact is, within that minute or 2 minutes, you want to include the backstage stuff. Chelsea Green got her pop because she's getting good screen time, she's got good social media work, came out into her ring, surprised by Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill squashed her, showcased as a star. She's dominant. The annoying heel, that's Chelsea Green. It's the little things you can pick up rather than we come back from a break and you see Tyson Kidd standing in the middle of the ring waiting to face Batista or Ryback or somebody who's going to beat him in 2 minutes. By the way, I'm not putting Batista and Ryback in the same sentence. Trust me, believe me, Ryback's niche. But it's different. It's new. And the thing is, you're going to have these new feels and you're going to generally be excited by it. And they're not going to hold back. They're going to not be afraid to let new talent come to the table and showcase themselves. And the one thing they can't be afraid of, which Vince McMahon was very afraid of, is lack of reaction. Sometimes the fans don't know what they're getting. Just being real. I envy American fans, and I'll tell you why I envy American fans. Without a doubt, WWE will travel throughout all 50 states. Without a shadow of a doubt, they'll go to Canada as well. They come to the UK twice a year at most. They go to places like France, Germany for house shows. It's not like they're getting pay-per-views, but you guys have it week in and week out. And sometimes you guys get a great show, but the crowd doesn't react to it.
Oh, we're going to get into that.
You see what I'm saying?
We're going to get into that.
When you come to the UK, even if the show is mid, the fans make it. And you know it, I know it. Even with something like football, if you're watching a game of football and the game is free, but you're not getting fans singing and you're not getting atmosphere, whilst you can see it was a great game, you're like, there was something missing. And you don't want to say it, You don't want to say it, but it's not the players, it's not the tactics, it's not the managers, it's the fans. We need
a
atmosphere.
library.
It's a library. We need atmosphere, man. So, yeah, I envy them because they get to watch it week in and week out. But I hope they actually appreciate what they're about to get. They're about to be given magic, and a lot of them be complaining on socials about what they've been getting. What? You're gonna get what you want now. I don't want to hear you bitch. Enjoy it.
Oh man, just a quick before we move on to the nitty gritty. Just to add on to the new era, we've seen it from Triple H. He's been planning this for the longest time, and shout out to NXT, man. You know, obviously Triple H is the brainchild of NXT. You did mention it in terms of like with the help of Dusty Rhodes, RIP. But that in itself has paved the way in terms of like how this new era is going to be showcased. You know, that instead of having these developmental back room places and rooms and for these wrestlers to develop, they've actually got a platform to be able to even compete with the likes of the AEWs out here, the TNAs. You know, they're going toe to toe with these guys, and this what allows for character development. And I think out of everything that you're going to see from this new era is more time for character development, which was there back in the days. And I feel like that was lost somehow between maybe the Attitude Era and then the Ruthless Aggression and kind of, you know, the Reality Era, especially the Reality Era, because everything was just fast paced and all of this kind of stuff. Storylines were just lasting for about a month. You know, we always talk about it like microwave storylines and stuff like that. But now we're seeing that someone from NXT could have been, you know, like for now, for example, Trick Williams and Mello, you know what I mean? Their beef from NXT could go the next 5 years, they get onto Raw, SmackDown, or whatever, and then you understand where they've come from. It's not just out of nowhere, like, oh, how come these two are beefing? We understand the development of these characters. All of these Seth Rollins, your Big E's, and all these people. Who else? All the NXT champions, basically. You know, Finn Balor's, all that. You understand where they've come from to then become champions. You know what I mean? There's a lineage, there's a passage, there's a pathway. Which makes sense. So all of this is going to be, I'm looking forward to it in terms of what Triple H has got in store. But with saying that, I'm not all the way happy with some of these storylines. Let's get straight into it. Let's first and foremost announce the new WWE Universal Champion, which is Cody Rhodes, who's finally finished his story. Something that we knew that was going to happen, but we just wanted to know how it was going to happen. So shout out to Cody Rhodes. He's fulfilled his destiny, won the title for his family, the coveted World Championship, the WWE World Championship, which is always made to seem like Dusty Rhodes never won any championships, but this is like the WWE Championship that they've never won within the Rhodes family. He's overthrown Roman Reigns, who was champion for like 1,360 odd days. I think maybe the fourth or fifth best title run, equal or maybe just surpassing Hulk Hogan.
No, he's fourth now. He's just behind Hulk.
Okay, so they couldn't even give him the Hulk Hogan.
I honestly think if the fans reacted well to him facing The Rock at this WrestleMania, he would have beaten The Rock and then go to beat the record and then lose to Cody Rhodes at the following Mania.
Yeah,
that's my honest opinion on it. But things have happened how they've happened, and regardless of at this point, I don't think he even needs the numbers, man. For me, that's the greatest one with the title. But we move
more than an honorable mention. With Roman Reigns, he deserves his flowers. He carried the company in dire moments in the period of time where AEW was, you know, rising. Let's not even deny what they were doing. You know, a lot of their wrestlers or WWE wrestlers were thinking, right, this might be the new wave, and they were jumping ship and all that kind of stuff. And that what I would say, that Stone Cold, that DX moment that WWE needed when the likes of Goldberg and NWO were doing their thing at WCW. Let's compare it like that. Roman Reigns took that that character that didn't really start off as like the tribal chief beforehand. It was just kind of like, you know, more like the head of the table, like figuratively, like he's the main guy, whatever. Then went into this tribal chief bloodline. And I'm not even afraid to say it, for me personally, is the best storyline that we've had in a very, very, very long time, if not the best outright. So shout out to Roman Reigns, man, for doing what he's doing, what he done. He deserved these flowers. And now we've got Cody Rhodes. What's your feeling of Cody Rhodes being champ now, man?
Oh, good with it. Because if you look at it from a company, I'm a weird wrestling fan. I think about the company's, you know,
Yeah. I'm like
direction and you know what it means for business,
I'm like you as well.
and who you want on top of the screen and how they talk to the people when they go on the Today Show and all that stuff with that nonsense. No, firstly, the guy's an excellent talker. So he's like a perfect face for the company because of the stuff he does for the company. Look, hear me out. When I say excellent talker, I'm not talking about the fact that he can use big words. I'm talking about the fact that he's very is eloquent the right words? He's eloquent. Yeah, he's eloquent. But no, on top of that, look, I think you've got someone who, when he came back, had essentially the perfect story. I've been deep in this weekend that through the win and sort of like all the reaction to it within the company and outside of it, I've not looked at it apart from it being like a story kind of thing, as finish the story thing, but a storyline. I've not looked past that. It seems like this is a lot more of an emotional thing around the company. I'm just looking at it that way because I'm seeing that they've created video vignettes and all these things, and I'm like, rah, okay, so this isn't just past the storyline. Yes, it is important that a family of that lineage does get a title at some point because the Anoa'i family has bundles of world champions. Ric Flair and Charlotte Flair alone eclipse pretty much any family. Whatever one titles they've won, flipping out. And obviously Dusty being the legend that he was, because he didn't win a world title, they were looking at Dustin next. He became Goldust. He never became world title caliber. Maybe he had the talent for it, but he never got to that stage. And now you got this guy who I think he was being prone to being that guy and just sort of went wayward with the Stardust thing and all that. He went away, had to completely reinvent himself. He's come back and they're happy with his work. I'm cool with it. Me personally, I'm cool with it. What I will say is this. What will determine whether I'm happy or not about his title reign is how he's booked. I remember we discussed this. Roman Reigns, as brilliant as this whole bloodline Roman Reigns arc has been, if it was booked terribly, we'd be pissed off. And we'd be like, okay, forget title runs and like get the title off this guy, man. It's enough now. It's done. It's done. Because we were all waiting for this guy to be a heel when he was the big dog. We were tired of the big dog. He can go as great matches, but quite frankly, there's no real appeal. You know what I mean? And he became the tribal chief, head of the table. Great matches, great stories. He's wise man, the elements in there. That's why we've enjoyed it. It's all the booking, bro. Cody Rhodes, as much as you may not be happy right now, if he is booked correctly, you will at least be satisfied. You might not be over the moon about it, but you'll be like, you know what? The story's done. Booking's been done. When he loses it, has he been a good champion? You know what? For the way he's been presented, for the way that things have happened in the ring, outside the ring, yeah, it's been good. But that's what we're waiting for. So the pressure is on him, but it's also on others as well, man. And by the way, the Cody Bloodline story is not done.
I hear you. We're gonna touch on that. We're gonna touch on that because there's much more to be spoken about, especially because of what we saw on Raw after Mania. Let me just quickly, on the back of what you just said.
Go on.
Let me just adjust my mic. I'm not a face guy in it, so I've got to state that first and foremost. So my whole attitude towards face wrestlers, all that smiling, kissing babies, and shaking hands, and it's all like a politician to me. Especially the way Cody Rhodes comes out in these 3-piece suits and in these white socks. Shout out to CM Punk as well at WrestleMania. He wore white socks and shoes. That pissed me off, by the way. But just like the crying, the speeches, the like, come on, man. Like, hopefully it doesn't last long. But if he carries on like this, I guarantee in about a month's time, you lot will get tired of this. There's only so much of the Tony Blair act that you're gonna like. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, all of this. There's only so much of the Obamas and all that kind of stuff. Like they're all shining armor, all that kind of stuff at the beginning is all good, but then it gets boring. It's gonna get boring very quick. But to say the least, he did have a story. He did have something tangible that you can hang on to and push on. The Bloodline storyline did have to come to an end. In my opinion, it already ended at Money in the Bank, to be fair. That was,
okay.
You know, I don't know. You remember what we was talking about? It was like, this is the perfect ending, pretty much. But they just needed to find a way to get the title off Roman Reigns. And unfortunately, if they really would have, I don't know if it was, I'm guessing it was the time constraints with The Rock and he's scheduling or whatever, but ultimately The Rock should have been in the Royal Rumble. And to win the Royal Rumble and then to go into face Roman Reigns, it would have been a much better segue rather than Cody Rhodes winning the Royal Rumble. You get everybody excited about that. And then the next day on Raw or whatever, The Rock then comes out randomly. And then it's like, oh, hold on a second, partner. You're going to chill out for a second. I got this. And then you're expecting him just to walk away. It was too late. Now, I rate the fact that they tried their best to gather what they could in order to continue the storyline. But this is where now I'm going to go into like the whole WrestleMania aspect and why I felt like, as much as we had all of the aesthetics, all of the pops and you know, you're seeing your favorite wrestlers and the nostalgia of it all, what I didn't like about WrestleMania 40, the crescendo of it all, was the build up for the final boss. That's one.
Okay.
The whole bloodline rules stipulations, there was no stipulations really. We just kept hearing there's going to be bloodline rules. And then the ending. Okay, I want to go through this quite quick, not to take up too much time. But The Rock, final boss, we get it. In you know, the whole aspect of him being on the TK board and TKO board and all that kind of stuff. I felt like they just needed to leave us with more of an edge between The Rock and Roman Reigns, just to kind of tease the fact that even if they go and they part ways, as we know that The Rock is now gone in his hiatus and it seems like Roman Reigns is gone as well, just to leave us with that inkling of like, oh, there could be something when they come back is going to happen, especially the dynamics between the final boss and the tribal chief. All right, part that aside. The bloodline rules, stipulations that if the tag teams, whatever, or if The Rock and Roman Reigns win, they're going to set this bloodline rules stipulation. Bro, it was nothing but a glorified no DQ match. Where was the stipulations? Sure. Where was I thought they was gonna bring some, I don't know, something that was related to Samoans, you know, what they do, or like something like that involved the whole bloodline aspect, the family. Do you lot have special rules? Do you lot beef in a certain way? Like, what is there to add spice to the main event itself. So we go into night 2. So that was obviously night 1. Night 2, we get the bloodline rules. They ask Paul Heyman, and it's just no DQ. Anything goes, anything can happen.
Yeah.
All right, cool. That's where I was disappointed even more. So I'm like, what the hell is this? This is just a glorified no DQ match. Okay, so we all had our, thoughts on what could happen, who's gonna come down. We all speculate. We're not gonna get it right. A load of stuff. I was asking for Goldust to come down somehow, but he's at AEW. He's not gonna come down. So forth and so forth. So those things, I get it. Can I just mention one thing? The Undertaker. Why on hell is the Undertaker making an appearance in the Bloodline storyline or Cody Rhodes' storyline? They got the Undertaker coming down as if like he's a security guard for Box Park. Now, I don't know why he is involved in this, but he's involved somehow. The Rock comes down as well, dressed like some Las Vegas Elvis impersonator as well. I weren't feeling that. Like, there was so much. Obviously, what's his name? Seth Rollins also comes down as the Shield. Now, there's a lot of people putting their 2 pences in, reminisces the time when Seth Rollins hit Roman Reigns in the back. That's where it all started. Seth Rollins jumps in the ring after we're thinking maybe Dean Ambrose might be here, or we're speculating. We're like, Seth Rollins jumps in, just gets one punch, and he's knocked out like some old Western movie. I'm like, what is going on here, man? Come on. All right. Roman Reigns hits him with a chair. That was a distraction, all of that. Now, I just feel like it could have been. Oh, yeah. Don't forget John Cena, your guy. You must have been gassed. John Cena comes down. That was inevitable because he's had beef with the Bloodline. I get it. Solo Sikoa ended his career. I understand that part. But I just felt like it could have been played a lot more better in terms of the crescendo of it all. I am not disappointed with the fact that Cody Rhodes is champion. We know that Roman Reigns had to lose his title, but just the way it was rolled out, I just felt like it could have been done a lot better. That's all I'm just saying.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
That's
my gripe.
I don't disagree with the Bloodline rules thing because I thought it was going to be almost the Bloodline family around the ring for most of the match. That's what I thought it was going to be. So, when I saw Jimmy interfere first, I thought, okay, now we're getting into the rules now because basically he's just going to see one member after the other. And because there are rumors about Jacob Fatu being signed, I thought, oh, imagine he gets involved because that's a killer. That guy's a killer. If you've watched him, he's a killer. You know what I mean? So I was thinking that. But obviously, yeah, no, I agree with that because essentially it's just a no DQ match. So you might also have just said, forget about Bloodline rules. Just said, look, if you don't win, then if anything goes, no DQ. We can come and do what we like. Remember, I'm Rock OSC. I'm a member of the board. I'm your boss. So if I want to come in, I'll do it. So like in the tag team match made sense because he low-blowed Seth Rollins in front of the referee and told the referee, if you do anything, if you count out, if you disqualify, I will fire you.
There you go.
So that
final boss rules. That could have been that.
Yeah. So that one, no stress. The reason why I didn't have an issue with the ending of night 2. So at first, after I got past all the excitement of seeing everyone come out once, I sat there. I was like, wait, hold on. Just like you, I was like, hold on, wait. Why's the Undertaker here? Why is this? Why did this happen? But okay, so I tried to make logic of it, reading stuff and whatever. So Jimmy and Jay is obvious. We don't have to really go into that one. That's not a problem. Solo Sikoa, that's obvious. He interferes all the time anyway, so that's not a problem. John Cena makes sense because and then him and The Rock having a face off as a throwback as well. That makes sense. There's beef there in the ring, so whatever. Cool. The Seth Rollins one, I thought when I heard the show music, I was like, hold on, wait. If I see 2 men them walking down the stairs, I'm gonna lose my head. because Seth Rollins works for you, but the other guy doesn't work here. So, okay, whatever. So yeah, what I was saying is, when you mentioned about Seth essentially he got made to look like a punk when Roman stopped him immediately, but it's maybe because I'm in my full creative head bag. I'm gonna say pause because I feel like that's a pause moment. But I'm gonna say pause anymore.
No Diddy.
No Diddy. So when Seth hit the ring, the way Roman pretty much rushed over to stop him, like, because I know if there's one person, if you look at the history between the two, if there's one person that Roman Reigns actually hates, it's Seth Rollins. And then you get to the Undertaker. Now, again, the Undertaker one spun me because I was thinking, are you just doing this because you couldn't get Stone Cold? Because you know Stone Cold and the Rock's right a history. So I was thinking, okay.
That would have made sense.
Yeah, that one makes sense. But it turns out Stone Cold wasn't even in the arena. He was at home just doing his own thing. So cool. Whatever the deal was there.
Sorry, before you move on, can I just liken this? Maybe you might even understand more on how I felt about Undertaker making an appearance. Do you remember in Endgames? Now this whole thing it has that Endgame kind of feel to it, innit? Roman Reigns being Thanos, the rest of them are being the Avengers and all sorts. You remember when Captain Marvel came about? Yeah. Especially in that movie, the Endgames, and she came flying in and she did her thing. And you just think to yourself, she wasn't needed. At least even in the Marvel story, she had an origin story about her in it to kind of link her to the whole Endgames. But this one with the Undertaker, there's no link. There's no beef. Like, he's just come out of nowhere in his security garms and then just choke slams the Rock, and then that was done. But yeah, man, look, when it comes to the Undertaker, I think it was good to see him out there. Like, in terms of like hearing the music, I'm not gonna lie and say like I weren't gassed by that. I weren't gassed by hearing Cena's music. You know, we live for these pops, innit? But just in terms of the storyline, that's my only gripe. But like I said, I keep saying, in terms of Roman Reigns losing his title, I'm okay with that. I know I sent you a video where the man's crying while he sees Roman Reigns crying, and it's one of them things where it's just like, look, it is what it is. Roman Reigns has lost his title. Cody Rhodes is now champ. And yeah, man, we just got to move on. We got to move on.
Miss Smart and Captain Marvel. It immediately pissed me off, and I'll tell you why it pissed me off. Because I remember watching Infinity War and the cutscene at the end where you saw her logo come up, and I was like, oh shit. And I'm just had a flashback to Endgame and thinking she didn't contribute anything to that beef for Thanos. You're supposed to be the woman that could challenge him. And instead it was human that built a machine, Iron Man. Nah, man, yeah. But anyway,
you understand what I'm saying? So in terms of even Endgames like that, in terms of how it was written and how they tried to round off the story, there's going to be aspects of it that you think to yourself, that wasn't needed. And that's where I'm at with it. I loved Endgames.
Where I would challenge your Undertaker one, just a little bit, is there is a slight receipt between him and Roman Reigns, because Roman Reigns didn't end his streak, but Roman Reigns pretty much kicked his ass at WrestleMania about 2 or 3 years later. And that receipt was never brought back. But again, to also aid your point, it should have been Roman Reigns that he chokeslammed and not The Rock.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back to my history to see if there's any beef between him and The Rock that was never, maybe resolved. The Rock had resolved, or maybe there was a feud that The Rock won that I can't remember off the top of my head. But in that one moment, I've been sitting, I was thinking, has anyone forgotten the fact that Roman Reigns beat up Undertaker so much that at the next Raw, the guy got booed like he was John Cena at ECW 2006. like he was hated. But then, after listening to what you said, logically, you go after Roman Reigns. But the only reason why I'm happy he didn't go after Roman Reigns is because that chair shot to Seth has a lot of story behind it. And Triple H said in the press conference that the next story from Roman Reigns is going to blow your minds. I need Seth to be part of that, because all I was seeing was, you are the tribal chief, you're the head of the table, you run everything. But this one guy, you can't get over it. It's 10 years, bro. And you're still here. That's something you need to fix.
So you think that storyline will be more something as a revenge storyline? He's finally going to get his revenge.
He need a revenge or a way to move past that. And I don't know if it means beating Seth Rollins per se, but there has to be something done there, because
closure.
Yeah, because if he's going to face The Rock, and you said it before Mania, that if he loses, it can be about challenging his position as the head of the table, head of the bloodline.
Yeah, it's done now.
If you're going to do that, fine. But why is it that he lost that match? Quite frankly, it wasn't that he was worse than Cody Rhodes. It was the fact that in that one moment where he had the chair between two people, in that one moment, he chose the wrong person because of beef from years ago.
But he had to go for Seth. You hit Cody Rhodes, Seth is still behind you. You know what I'm saying? So
fact, but at least in that moment, like deeper though, because I'm thinking you're in a title match with this guy, hit him. Even if this guy tries to do something, you still, like, Seth wasn't even, you got someone that's been beaten up by Drew McIntyre already, and then you punched him and he's all, he's all wibbly wobbly. He's looking like one of those Bailey inflatable tube thingamajiggies. You can bang him. You can travel. You're a tribal chief. Yeah, you can knock him out. I think he went for the wrong person. I remember watching it when I was watching it live, and he hit Seth. I was like, oh no. I said, oh no. But hey, man, either way, we had a great main event, man. It gave us memories.
Bro, it did. Just quickly, just dialing it back. The Philadelphia crowd. We mentioned it in terms of like crowd participation. The talent have to bring their A game, but I feel like the crowd also are responsible to making sure that the event is live. Now, a lot of people on social media were saying that this should be the last time that WrestleMania should be held at Philadelphia. Personally, I felt, the first night was atrocious in terms of the crowd participation, but, they said it was cold and all that kind of stuff. But believe you me, if WrestleMania was in England and with the blitz that, shout out to the American peeps out there, but with the blitz that we have here, that crowd would have been rocking at Wembley. 90,000 people. Strong. Like, come on, man. Triple H, man. Get WrestleMania here in Wembley, man. So first night, it was quite awful. I think the second night, it kind of picked up a bit, it helped out a little bit more in terms of the fan participation, but just in general, as a whole, in terms of WrestleMania, as a spectacle, because it's been said that it's one of the greatest of all time. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. But I think a lot of people are just doing that based off the records that have been broken rather than the actual event. If you want to talk about greatest, my favorite two will be the one that was I forgot which number. It was not too long ago. The one that had Stone Cold and Kevin Owens in that match. I think it was 38 maybe. And 17. That TLC match, Rock Austin, those two for me, they trumped this one. But this one I think was important to usher in the new era, and I think they did it very well. So again, I have no complaints. And to be fair, my people that I hoped will win one as well. Logan Paul kept his title.
Yeah, I was just about to say, touch on the standout moments. So we've got Logan Paul
gets
match
his title
with Kevin Owens and Orton.
Yep. What's it called? Astro Speed.
They couldn't get KSI,
bro.
He's too busy.
When Randy pulled off the mask, I was like, hold on, that can't be who the hell I think it is. And I was still fuming at him for trying to take out Kaka in a charity game. I'm still mad at him for that. But that was a great match. Astro Speed. Bailey and Io, bro. I kept telling you every week we did the show, man, I kept bringing those two up. They delivered, man. They delivered a great match again.
Yeah.
Any match that's Gunther's in is fantastic. Had a great match with Sami Zayn, lost the title. I'm not going to say the number of days that he held the title for because that's a juju number. And quite frankly, I'm not going to say it. But congratulations to him. Yeah, no, I'm sad.
Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, Naomi.
Excellence.
Oh, man, they were looking so beautiful, man. Shout out to the queens. Shout out to the queens.
Shout out to Naomi as well, who was twerking on her way to the ring.
I know. She was moving.
She was moving.
Nah, they made a good trio, man. They look like a girl group or Destiny Child, TLC. They could easily be releasing an album right now.
If I was in creative, this is gonna sound. I'm gonna apologize ahead of this because I know it's gonna sound bad, but hey, it's what it is. But I'd call this team the hat-trick of Bunda. That's what I call the team all day. That's it. That is it. Shameless. Yeah. But other than that, no. I enjoyed pretty much everything. The only thing that I was disappointed about was the Usos match.
Just the Usos match? What about Rey Mysterio's book ending?
Oh, I forgot about that one. That's why I forgot about that one. See, that's the problem. That's the problem. It's forgettable. That shouldn't have happened. That should not have happened. You have Rey Mysterio and Andrade, who are good enough. You have Dominic Mysterio, who's proven he's good enough. You have Santo Escobar, and I'll big up this guy from NXT. What a heel he can be. And you had the Philadelphia Eagles, two-man them. I don't even know their names. Coming into interfere.
As luchadors. 6 beasts of luchadors.
Come on.
Hail as well. I was like, who are these guys?
That did not need to happen at all.
But, I would say my best moment, barring the whole spectacle of like the whole bloodline and Cody Rhodes and stuff like that, I think next up for me was the ending of Drew McIntyre's matchup with Seth Rollins. That turn, and listen, shout out Drew McIntyre. We keep saying this over and over again. Yep. He's doing his best work. Like, could you imagine in the creative room sitting down and we're like, all right, you are now finally going to be champ. This is going to be the first time you're going to be champ in front of fans, or to win a title in front of fans or whatever. But you're going to have to drop the title to Damian Priest, who's going to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase at WrestleMania. Yep. You're like, so I'm not going to be able to take this into this new era. But he's thinking long term, because the beef now that he's going to have with CM Punk, it's going to last for ages.
That's going to be layers. That's going to be cooking.
Real cooking. Layers upon layers. And, I don't think they've got that. And this is why I asked you last time, do they have real beef like the way Seth and CM Punk have? I don't think they got real beef like that. But
I don't think so either.
The way they make it seem like they got real beef, that's what I like about it. You know what I mean? It's like AJ and LA Knight as well. We'll touch on that as well. The way they look like they've got real beef, I like that. That can still go on as well. You know what I mean? So shout out Drew McIntyre.
Hey, you know what? God bless you. You just said it. Talking of disappointments, what in the hell have they done to AJ Song's music? What is going on?
Oh, you didn't like it?
No. Maybe I need to hear it again, but I was like,
I thought it's time that you needed a change.
I don't mind the change. I mind the song.
Yeah,
I'll listen to it again.
You probably need to listen to it again.
I thought
it's quite dope. I thought like just me. Okay, AJ. Yeah.
Boy, I hope you're not trying to turn him into Machine Gun Kelly or some bullshit, man.
Yeah. He's always got to have a bit of rap in there as well, though, a bit of hip hop. But listen, if we're talking about music, it hurts me to say this because I'm a big Rock fan, innit? The Rock is my guy. And I've loved the stuff that he's done, but I also got to be critical when critique needs to be given. The music, man. Jim Johnson, I'm calling you out. I don't know if you've been lazy or you just didn't want to do the work. I don't know where you are, but come on, man. This kind of mashup that you try to do with like the first part of The Rock's old song and then putting the Hollywood version together and like, come on, man. Like I always look forward to a new rendition of The Rock's music each and every time. I go on YouTube, I listen to like the chronological order of it from 1998 right up into 2024. And this last one did not hit, man.
You're feeling
Big thumbs down. I weren't feeling it. The entrance, the electricity, all of that kind of stuff, epic. I know The Rock was sitting there and saying, this is my vision of the final boss. I liked all of that. The Brahma Bull is back because that tattoo that he's got on his shoulder, it weren't doing it, man. He tried to give us some explanation about like this is the evolution of the Brahma Bull, some dead skull looking. Nah, we need old school Brahma Bull. And speaking of the Brahma Bull, what about that title that he's got? The People's Champion title. Let's get into it.
I'm just gonna say this. Do you know what kind of flex it is that you receive a title that is custom made for you after a nickname that you got from Muhammad Ali, that his family induct him into the Hall of Fame and still have time to give you a custom-made title from the Ali family?
Bestowed.
Brother, there is not one president. There is not, bruv. Goku could become a human being and fly through the skies in all of this earth, and he still wouldn't get that tag. That is a different type of flex. Incredible.
He brought it down at WrestleMania. Brought it down to Raw.
Bro,
you know, Raw after Mania.
Would you not, bro? I would take it to the bathroom with my newspaper when I went to the toilet. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
It's a big, massive flex. I can't lie, man. I can't lie. The Rock has definitely elevated. Look, obviously, I'm dissing him for the music, and that's not his fault. But in terms of like his contribution, brother, there's people on my WhatsApp, social medias that have been hollering at me just to get, like, they've been chatting to me about wrestling. These are people that don't even watch wrestling. You guys know who you are. You'd be like, why are you not watching wrestling, man? That's that. Oh, what's going on with The Rock? I hear The Rock's back now.
What watch that? The Rock back? Oh, Undertaker. John Cena. What do you mean?
The bloodline. Oh, that story. I'm gonna start watching, man. I'm gonna start watching. Yeah, bro. This is why we still watch wrestling.
We've been telling you. You'll run home for 9 p.m. to go and watch Love Island, but you don't want to watch WWE. Get out of here, man. Get out of here, man.
You are still watching EastEnders,
bruv.
So, but I truly believe that The Rock has contributed to that uprise, you know, a little bit in terms of like the social media, because most of these people who live on social media and, you know, they'll be on TikToks, Instagrams or whatever, that's what keeps coming up. Wrestling, The Rock. So, yeah, man, shout out to The Rock for elevating it once again, obviously going into this new era. Let's just quickly touch on the Raw after Mania. So obviously, Triple H has come down once again, letting us know that it's a new era. Yep, thanking the fans thanking him, rightfully so. It goes both ways. Obviously at the back end of WrestleMania, there was a lot of hugs and kisses and a load of other faces, wrestlers coming out, hoisting Cody Rhodes up in the air. That congratulatory celebration still continued on Raw. Triple H brings out the new Universal Champion. He comes out emotional. Maybe there's you know, yeah, okay, he's emotional about everything. Then I can't get over it, man. I'm sorry. He gets emotional. Okay, he has his time, his promos, he's cutting his promos, thanking everyone. They give him the vignette. That was cringe as well. Like, I don't know, like how they're pushing Cody Rhodes like this, but they are. The Rock comes out. final boss comes to give his promo, which went on for quite a long time. I calculated and I was looking from time Triple H come out, by the time The Rock came out as well, it was at least 40 to 50 minutes of a segment. It was a very, very long segment. But, you know, Rock being experienced, he's just trying to get the crowd engaged. Every time he tried to speak, they were calling him arsehole, swearing at him, rare tear tear.
The Rock has been so good as a heel that, because we always say it, like, I think you said it a couple of weeks ago, that you hate the fact that heels get cheered because, you know, maybe the faces are not doing enough, but the fact is, if you're a heel, you should not be getting cheered, bro. As soon as his music stopped, he was getting booed out of the arena without even saying a word. That's when you know you've done fantastic heel work and you've put the face across you very high up in the estimations. He's helped Cody big time. His experience has come through to the table. And as a heel, no, forget that word. The Rock at this stage getting booed like that, he's done phenomenal work
as well.
He's done phenomenal work.
I said it's phenomenal for the fact that he's getting the Rocky sucks chance, and he goes and he quotes a famous quote, and I was so happy to hear it. He tried to say it, but the crowd were getting onto him, but he managed to spew it out, and he was like, "You may say the Rock sucks, but one thing the Rock doesn't is suck." Or the one thing that the Rock could be, I can't remember quote for quote, but I remember him saying that when he was just touched down at the Nation of Domination, and it's like there's one thing that the Rock is, and that ain't sucking, basically. And I like that about the Rock. He's come back in a major way, but now, obviously, as we knew would happen, he's stepping away. He's got other obligations to attend to. $7 productions and all of that, movies. So he's going to be taking a bit of a hiatus. But before leaving, him and Cody Rhodes obviously exchanged words, or more so the Rock, giving him his last, bits of rhymes. And he said, "Our story has just begun." Also, I've never touched that belt before. Do you mind if I have a look at it? Obviously, Cody Rhodes is quite hesitant. He's like, "What's going on here?" He's like, "I don't understand." He goes, "Well, if you take my belt, let me hold your belt." Now, the significance to that, I was thinking, is this kind of the handing of the torch in regards to the people's champ? Because at this present moment, Cody Rhodes is pretty much considered the people's champ. His storyline is based on the people. His dad, it was like more or less kind of the people's champ as well. So I kind of took it in that way. Maybe it's a bit far-fetched in terms of my thought process, but that's how I saw it, basically.
Wow, that's fair.
And then I saw it as The Rock, obviously, wanting to hold the title, was like, my friend, I'm coming for this belt. I'm coming for this title. And one thing about it, like, when he took the belt, did you see how much smaller it looked on The Rock in comparison to Cody Rhodes?
Yeah, but because The Rock is he's a bulldozer, man. He's a bulldozer, man. That guy's
wham.
Bro, I'll keep saying it. Him and Prime John Cena. I'll never forget when those two finished their rivalry and became friends, and they did this. I think it's Raw 1000. They did something after Raw.
Yeah,
it's recorded, and this is when I realized these guys were wham, because The Rock was about to do people's elbow, but he didn't have the elbow pads, so he took John Cena's arm.
Yeah.
And then he put it in his arm, and then he went like this. He went, hold on. He goes, "This is a headband, isn't it?" So you guys are this wham. That a headband is fitting around your arm like that. That's different. That's different. That's different. What is that?
Yes, Kojo, you know.
What is that? How's a headband around your arm?
You can only know that if you watch wrestling on a religious basis. I'm telling you. Yeah, I remember that. That's how whammy is.
Ridiculous.
But yeah, man, that's on the just finally, in regards to, I know there's more that happened on Raw after Knicks, but I don't think it was the greatest Raw after Mania, was it?
No, because I think Triple H. This is nothing I like about it. He's not sort of hanging on to the big surprises kind of thing where he got he got the NXT champions on there. They showcased really well. He got a triple threat on a fatal 4-way on there to determine the next challenge for the world title immediately. He continued the storyline with R-Truth, Awesome Truth for the Judgment Day. Like and obviously Liv Morgan attacked Rhea Ripley as well. Like it's the things you want to see. It's continuation, not just we finished Mania, a couple of surprises. Next week we'll worry about storylines. No.
Yeah.
Let's continue, man. This is what we want. This is business. Let's keep going. So
Drew McIntyre, obviously that's gonna continue. Drew McIntyre and CM Punk still going after each other. Obviously, CM Punk costs Drew McIntyre the number one contendership that the Uso has now won, so he is likely to go after Damian Priest, who's the new Raw champion, taking it off Drew McIntyre, who took it off Seth Rollins. So I guess Seth Rollins is going to be taking his hiatus with his back problems and his knee problems and all that kind of stuff. So I agree with you. I think Triple H is just looking at it and just like, look, man, we don't need to rush into any storylines. Don't really need to depend on any surprises because, there's things to come. Don't forget also there's a draft that's going to be coming very soon as well. So I'm guessing that's probably either before Backlash or after Backlash. So that's coming up very soon. So that's going to really determine like where everybody's at in terms of the stables, Raw and SmackDown. Some of the NXT people are obviously going to be graduating very soon as well. I won't be surprised when we start seeing the more Mellows and Trick Williams, Braun Breaker's already at SmackDown, right? Or is he on Raw?
He's on SmackDown.
Yeah, he's on SmackDown. So there's going to be a real shake-up. I'm looking forward to this new era. Obviously, like anything that you see and watch, when the storyline ends, you're either happy or you're disappointed. But ultimately, having both emotions shows you how much engaged you was in and how much you were invested in the storyline. So either way of the spectrum of whether or not you loved how the storyline ended or you hated it, you was invested in this storyline, this bloodline storyline. Cody Rhodes obviously finishing his story and new beginnings. He's now going to be the driving force to the new era. So I'm going to be looking forward to that. I'm going to give Cody Rhodes also that room to develop as a champion. As he mentioned, Roman Reigns has done a lot with that title.
So much.
So it is really now going to be hard work for Cody Rhodes as a face at that. And I always say, as a heel, I feel like it is easier than a face because there's more room to be a prick, a bastard, and as you've seen with The Rock coming back, swearing and all doing all that kind of stuff, just heightened his heel status. You know what I mean? Where when you're a goodie, you gotta go around smiling and doing things the honorable way and stuff like that. So let's see. A large part of Roman Reigns as well to why we loved him more at the end is just the fact that he was doing, heel business, winning by any means necessary. But when you're a face, you gotta be a hero.
Facts, bro. I'm just gonna say this now. I feel like it's very good that Roman Reigns is getting his flowers now, but I think over the next year, you're gonna really have fans really deep and understand just what he did. WWE's business was tanking before lockdown. Went into lockdown. There's not much you can do, and this guy. Well, if you've seen the documentary, I don't have to really explain much more. The guy sat at home, worked with Paul Heyman, and said, "What can I do to take this to another level?" And it wasn't about coming back and being a brutalizing heel. It was much more than that. It's much more than that, man. The guy, what he's done, you got to see other people try and copy. Other companies who try and follow the same example. They'll try and do it in their own way. They'll try to do it their own way, but they're gonna try and copy it. What he's done is transitional, and this is why I put him alongside all the the faces that we've had in the past. Because if you talk about Cena, the reality era, even though he's not really the face of the reality era, if you deep his promos from like the CM Punk rivalry forward, there's a lot of personal stuff in there. The real talk started happening there. Then you see what other companies doing it as well. Man, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is the catalyst for something incredible. And boy, I'm ready for this next stage, man. I'm so ready for this.
Yeah, I am as well. I'm intrigued by it. Probably in regards to as a face, I've never really fully enjoyed face moments, but I appreciate the face moments. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Cody Rhodes' character develops. Also looking forward to seeing Damon Priest as champ for a bit. How long he's going to be champ for, I'm not sure, but he's champ for now. Honorable mentions, obviously, Awesome Truth and R-Truth and The Miz are champs. They're tag team champs. I'm happy the fact that they split up the undisputed tag team because to be fair, it only worked while the Usos had it in regards to the bloodline storyline and the dominance they had. When the Judgment Day and other wrestlers took on the undisputed tag team titles, it didn't work. So glad that split up. And I think just now what we're looking forward to is now the draft. Find out which wrestlers go to which stable, and then the new era begins. Any final thoughts, Kojo, while we round this up?
I'm gonna start saying this every week in going into work with the new era thing. This is my new era here as well in this podcast. So every week I'm gonna say this because she deserves it. Shout out Lola Vice. That's it. That's it.
Love it, guys. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm just really gonna say this. I know, like, you hear YouTubers and content creators say this. Please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. It does help us to build this platform. It helps us to build this show in itself. And guys, we know that you guys watch wrestling, man. You still watch wrestling. Don't be ashamed of it. Speak of it as like you would speak of any program. You know, I'm watching Kin right now, which was this Irish show on BBC iPlayer. It's a dope show. I talk to my friends about it. Like, it's no different to me talking about wrestling, or if you watch EastEnders, you watch Love Island, or I don't know, man, Atlanta's Housewives, or whatever you watch, Kardashians, whatever you watch. This is the same thing. It is the best combat storytelling program there is in the world. If you want to see people fighting, if you want to see stories being told, watch it. Then you can come here and discuss and chat about it. We're here, we're open to discuss anything in regards to wrestling. So make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, press the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of our shows. We are here weekly, and we try our best to obviously be here weekly. Sometimes we do go live as well. So make sure that you interact. But apart from that, do you still watch wrestling? We do. Until the next time, peace.
Lola Vice.